What are we searching for through our addiction? I've worked in the addiction treatment field for a long time, and it's not uncommon to hear people will say, when they develop an addiction to alcohol or drugs or any other mood altering behavior, that they were searching for something. And what I'm going to suggest is the problem is we don't know what it is that we're searching for. And it only makes sense that the more effective we are in identifying what the problem is, it's going to make it all the easier for us to identify an effective solution. That said, I'm going to go ahead and say when we say that most people will say they were searching for something, I want to acknowledge that doesn't automatically mean that we know it at the time. I could tell you when I started using drugs when I was like about 12 years old, and here's some of the gory details. My drug use started with doing sniffing model airplane glue and huffing gasoline out in my garage. And I'm here to tell you the euphoria, the intoxicating effect of those chemicals was not exactly the same as taking, those first, puffs off a Marlboro Red or a few 3-2 beers that we would steal from the convenience store, and get that slight buzz. The stuff I was doing when I was 12 years old created a very psychedelic experience. I thought the trees were turning into animals and talking to me. If you asked me at the time, Jim, what is it that you're searching for? I would not have been able to identify. I'm looking for an existential answer to. No, I wasn't looking. I was enamored with getting high. I had no idea it had anything to do with anything other than I like getting high. It wasn't until 30, 20, 25, whatever years later when I got sober. And it wasn't right away when I got sober. It was a gradual process of a couple of years of really growing into understanding that, yes, I was searching for. While I was young, I had no clue. So again, when we say most people are searching for something, it doesn't automatically mean that they are aware of it at the time. My experience was I came to understand that well after I got sober and continued to grow. But that said, let me, on the, look at this slide. I'm going to pull up my slides again. And I'm very spontaneous. And I made this slide this morning. How about, like I'm all prepared for my talk and then, no, let's change things up completely and start making new slides. I happened to get up this morning and I made my little TikTok short video to announce my talk today. And I actually came up with a statement here that I wrote on the slide. I don't know if you can see the cursor. I hope you can. But I said on my TikTok video this morning, I said, see if you can follow this thread. Original wholeness, separation and trauma, addiction, recovery, connection. And, from the perspective of, when you're giving a talk and preparing for a talk, they say, tell them what you're going to talk about it, and then tell them what you talked about. Well, I started realizing, again, I'd never uttered those words before in that sequence like that. Original wholeness, separation, trauma, addiction, recovery, connection. But I realized, whoa, that is actually what we're going to talk about today. It's going to be the underlying sort of foundation or the roadmap of where this talk is going to go. I'm going to talk about each of these individual components, and by the end of this talk, I think you're going to see how this, like I say, provides sort of a roadmap of what's going on, especially for a succinct answer, what is it that we're searching for?